Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon, and I normally write games on stream. But today I'm going to try something a little bit different, because I found a cool game on itch.io and I want to share it with some people. And it was vaguely related to the game I'm currently working on. So this is a game called First Cut. It's by a guy named Drasnus on itch.io. I quite enjoy it. This is just a little game I found. Obviously, I just felt like playing it because I think it would be fun, and it's also really light on my system, so I can actually stream it. Two things about this game. One, I did put a filter on it to make it more cinematic, hence why everything is black and white. And the second thing is, this isn't going to be good gameplay, mind you. This is going to be terrible gameplay. I'm bad at this game. But this isn't the point. The point of this is that I get to shit talk games. I get to shit talk franchises I'm going to be possibly making games on. That is the entire reason why we're doing this today. Just because somebody asked me what are my thoughts on things, and I'm like, well, obviously I need to respond. So here, let me turn up the music a little bit. I'm turning down my own volume here a little bit so I don't deafen myself with the music. Music is very good. I'm trying to get a good balance of it. But you're going to see me be very bad at this game for a variety of reasons. So, what is this game? Well, this game is a game about being samurai and stabbing people to death. Now, I made it more cinematic because I thought that would be cool. That's literally it. It's inspired by Bushido Blade. The entire idea, stab your opponent. Any hit that connects is a successful hit and will kill your opponent. You have a few options, but usually it's just going to be low attack, high attack, and medium attack. That's pretty much it. This is what the game is. It's actually not that complex. I actually need to double check something because that was it. Sound volume wasn't up. There we go. So what's the actual like thing I'm going to be, what am I actually going to be talking about today? Well, people wanted my opinion on Omori, because there's a game currently on my list called Headspace. Headspace is directly inspired by Omori. Now, Omori is... I watched an entire playthrough of the game. Let me just preface this. I didn't play the game, because it just did not appeal to me in the absolute slightest. That game just was like, oh, it's another Earthbound-inspired RPG. Okay, cool. It looks very pretty, don't get me wrong. Omori looks gorgeous. I think the artwork is really on point. Everything about the game, though, is really... well, not the way I would do things, let's just say that. Like, I like the idea behind Omori. Blade of Samurai did exist on the PS2, but I played Bushido Blade on a PS1 emulator. Yeah, I'm that guy. I played... yeah, Bushido Blade on a PS1 emulator, if you want true sadness. And there's a reason I love all these Bushido Blade-inspired games. I adore them. Am I good at any of them? Absolutely not, but I can believe I am. But... people, it was funny, like, when Headspace came on, everyone's like, oh, man, Omori fucking sucks. Like, everybody was like, that was like the immediate first thing people were like, man, like, Omori is just bad. Like, why are you doing a game based off Omori? And I'm like, what is the reason why everyone hates Omori? Like, I have my opinion on why, like, the actual gameplay of Omori did not satisfy me in the absolute slightest. That game was just really... how's the best way to word it? Like, I watched a full gameplay of it, all the secrets and everything, by a... it's a YouTuber called Manly Badass Hero. That's him. Go watch him, by the way. He's really good. He does a lot of cool games. But he did a full playthrough of it, and he kind of captured what I was thinking about it, being like, the actual Headspace parts... and, like, yeah, no, it's like, Omori, in my opinion, is good in an art department because an artist is arty variety. Yeah, it's really good in that regard. Like, yeah, it's a very pretty game, but, like, the actual gameplay of it, I was like, this is a really simplistic Earthbound-inspired game. And you're talking to someone who really likes Earthbound and thinks Earthbound's really good and has played other Earthbound-inspired RPGs. And hell, one of my favorite games of all time is easy Lisa. Lisa the Painful is a perfect game in my opinion, almost perfect. There's some hiccups there. Mid game of Lisa gets really wacky. Let's just say that shit gets weird in mid game Lisa, not in a good way either. Just a lot of like, okay, it's time to grind now. But Like, my problem with Omori, like, ultimately speaking, is that it felt like there was no... Not necessarily like there's no gameplay, because there was gameplay. It just felt like that gameplay was meaningless to the actual story that was occurring. Because the story of Omori is ultimately... fun fact, there's going to be spoilers in this stream. Just acknowledge that there's going to be spoilers, by the way. Like, you know, actually, you know, give me 1 second. Give me one second. I'm gonna put a thing up here because someone's gonna come and be like, oh, "Why did you spoil Omori?" Oh, oh, oh. Spoilers. Spoilers for Omori and kill 6 billion demons. There we go. Put that right there. Just so people understand that this is going to be very spoiler heavy for a good reason, by the way. Like, the main issue with Omori, at the end of the day, you take a bad hour. Ow. So, the main issue with Omori is that the entire plot... Like, the entire issue is that the plot doesn't mean anything. Like, the entire gameplay aspect of the plot is non-existent. You could have the entire game take place without the dream sections, and nothing changes. You can argue that, like, the one Hikikomori route is it, and like, the main issue is that the main character is Basil. Like, Basil is, like, the main character of that game, but he's also not and isn't present for 95% of it. Sunny has no character. That fucking character, he has no personality. He has implied personality, but he doesn't speak or he doesn't really make any decisions that you, the player, don't make. And, like, you can argue, like, oh, it's about, you know, making up and being like, oh no, Mari's dead, everybody cry. You know, everyone is sad because Mari is dead. The problem is, like, Mari's death is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Like, her passing is by far the stupidest. Yeah, true scare is spoiler. Yeah, spoilers. Spoiler alert. Like, there's a reason I put, like, that thing. I'm like, is it on there? Yeah, it's spoilers. Like, I'm going to spoil shit because I need to... People wanted my opinion on this, and I'm going to put my opinion on in video form. Like, the main issue is that Mari's actual death, her... fucking dot hack, goddammit. But, like, Mari's death makes no sense that a child should feel guilt, like, not a 4 years of guilt kind of thing. Because, like, through the entire game, because they put a side note in the game where it's like, oh, well, there's a darkness and this world is, like, over that darkness, and it's like, oh, it's super evil, and, like, we have, like, that's where all the bad things of Omori come in, like, oh no, it's this evil dark world. And fun fact, the entire game, I was thinking you were in Basil's dream. Like, I thought, like, there's something obviously going on. There's something supernatural, freaky going on. Like, oh, you're not really Sunny, you're Basil, or something's going on. Or, like, Basil's infected your mind or something. And you're, like, doing, like, a weird defense mechanism. No, that's not the case. Sunny is literally guilty over killing his sister in an accident, and then his friend fucking convinces him to hang her in the garden? What the fuck is that? Like, that... The problem... It's not even magical realism. That's the issue. Because everything takes place in his head. You look at it, you're like, wait a second, that makes no sense. Like, in my head, I was looking at it, I'm like, you hung your sister. You faked your sister's suicide because she was obviously pissed at you. And then you pushed her down the stairs on accident. On accident. Let me just keep prefacing that. This is Omori spoilers, by the way. I saw someone else come in. On accident. You accidentally shoved your sister down the stairs. She dies. and then your friend convinces you to fake her suicide in your backyard. What? Like, I literally rewatched that section like 4 times. I went to a wiki, I went to everything, because I refuse to believe that that was like legitimately what the plot was, because that's super fucking stupid. Because no logical reason it was that case. If it was like, Basil killed your sister, or like, oh no, Basil killed your sister to, protect you or something. Okay, there's something there. I can work with that. There's actually some interesting plot developments going on. That's not the case. The headspace parts, like the actual headspace parts of Omori, mean nothing. Because you can argue it's like, oh, it's Sonny trying to get over his past trauma, and his trauma is really damaging to his psyche. The problem is that it doesn't matter. It, like, yeah, it was a plot twist for having a plot twist, and I thought they were going for a very different angle for it. I thought they were going to go for more of the, like, hey, Mari did kill herself. Why did Mari kill herself? Well, she killed herself because issues that you weren't able to see. Okay. Mari died because someone was negligent. That's why I was thinking, like, did Basil kill Mari? Because I thought, like, that could be an interesting idea. Like, hey, you accidentally killed my beloved sister that everybody adores. And I adore too, but you did it on accident. I don't want everybody to hate you for it. It's like, okay, that could be, like, an interesting plot going on here. But it's not that. That's the weird part. It's not that. It's a completely, like, different plot twist that comes out, that feels like it comes out of nowhere, but they keep saying it. But they say it, how do I want to word this? It's the kind of plot twist you don't want to happen. You're like, please God, don't be the thing that I think you're doing. You're not actually going to put up as this is going to be the plot. Because I think the main issue with me is that we get to see so little of her character. Like, we see so little of her character that it's kind of hard to get a good idea of who she actually is. And that's like, you can argue like that's the point. You're not really supposed to get a lot of Mari's personality. But the problem is, like, you have to preface everything on that of like, why would these two characters decide to do this? That's why I say, like, the ending of Omori is really weak, in my opinion. Like, the actual, like, ending of, like, I'm getting over my past trauma. Okay, but it's built on such a flimsy, weird idea that it was impossible for me to really get back into it. I'm like, okay, maybe... And I'm like, okay, maybe the Hikikomori endings are, like, better? It's not. It's not better. I just got my shit rocked there. Got my fucking face chopped off because I dodged into a strike. Oh, why do I keep dodging into things? Why am I the way that I am? Like, my goal with Headspace is to kind of play up the aspect a little bit more, which is you are taking parts of this particular character's brain. You are fragments of memories. You are concepts and ideas that they are using as kind of a coping mechanism in a way. You're taking the role of, hundreds of, different ex-girlfriends and stuff, trying to get over the past of one girl, of, a previous girl completely screwing you over kind of thing. Why are you doing this? Well, because you are a psychologically damaged individual. Like, that's one of the core ideas. Like, they tried to do that a bit, but Sunny never really gets any character development, so the actual dream space moments feel really useless and nothing actually occurs in them. It's like, oh, did someone actually grow as a character during these things? Or, oh, did Sunny learn something about himself or someone else? Not really until the end, but by the end it's already like you already know something is going on. So it's like, okay, So, like, that is my reason for not, like, super adoring Omori like everybody else apparently does. But it's really weird as well. It's either, like, everybody adores Omori. Like, oh, Omori's the... Mwah. I love him. Omori's so great. It's such a great and thought-provoking story. Being like, I have seen this plot before. Because you like, I've seen the main plot before. Like the actual like mind space plot, that's kind of, well, it's nonsense. There's no mind space plot. Like that's the, arguably you can say that's kind of the joke of the matter. It's like there is no plot. Things just happen. Like if they went down the like Basil, like more of the supernatural aspect of things, like hey, Basil is literally causing you to be a fucking NEET because he wants to protect you. Cool, I can go with that. Hey, yeah, Mindspace World. Or it was, hey, you are kind of undergoing more... Give me one second. Oh, fuck. Or it was more of the non-mind space stuff as kind of the idea of like, yeah, here's just a story. Like, as a combination of the two, it doesn't work as well for me. And that's the part that kind of disappoints me at a fundamental level about Omori, and one of the things that like really breaks me. Yeah, that like the thing is, if they committed to one side or the other, being like, this is literally just a kid's coping mechanism, cool. Not a 4-year hikikomori, coping mechanism. That's not a coping mechanism anymore. You just have psychological problems at this point. Like, you are an unhealthy individual, please get help. But that's not the case. And the thing is, since we just don't get as much personality with much of the characters, because we can't really, like, I understand, it's a game. Like, it's still, an RPG Maker game. You couldn't give that much personality to each character. But they keep hinting at things with each character. I think that's, like, the part that really breaks me. They keep hinting at cool things. Like, yeah, Kel gets, like, and the thing is, it's not like they don't talk about it. Like, the fact that, like, Kel is the weakest character in the game. At the start. At the start of the game, he is the weakest character. He has the least amount of health, he has the least amount of strength. But he's also the one that rapidly gains strength and health and things like that. He's the one who actually gets a lot of actual, strength compared to the other characters. Or how Aubrey gets a lot of bonuses with everyone except, gets a lot of bonuses with you, Omori, i.e. Sunny. And that's kind of cool. Like, alright, she doesn't really get benefits with anyone else, but you don't really see anything else. Like, if they gave Mari a little bit of more personality, other than being the dead sister, that could be fine. Because they built the entire plot of Omori relies on you feeling, I wouldn't say feeling bad for, but like understanding that Sunny's relationship with Mari is important. That was really beautiful. God, I'm super fucking cool in this game sometimes. And if you don't believe, mamma mia, if you don't believe Mari actually has something interesting going on with her, if you aren't invested in her as a character, you aren't going to be invested in anything else in the game. That's kind of the main issue. But the problem is you don't really get much character with her. And that's one thing I'm going to try to avoid in Headspace, the actual game I'm going to be possibly writing for it. Which is, those psychological aspects are, I want them to feel important. I want them to be like, yeah, you have a deep-seated trauma by the fact that your sister is dead. We're going to talk about that real fast. Or, hey, the main character has like a weird issue with something else. We're going to talk about that. Because that's important. Omori just kind of failed to do that. Omori kind of failed to establish its setting. It kind of relied more on the artwork. Hello, more people were doing spoilers for Omori. And later Kill 6 Billion Demons, because I have opinions on that. I have opinions on Kill 6 Billion Demons. Fuck that comic. But, like, that's the main issue with Omori for me. Like, that entire game is prefaced on, are you invested in the characters, but you don't really get that much information about any of the characters, bar Aubrey. You get a lot of information on Aubrey. You don't get that much on the others. You can argue, like, that's kind of the point, but then it's like, well, even then you don't get that much on her. And, like, then you have to realize, like, oh, well, Basil's, like, the main character. Like, he's, like, the central dragonist of the story. But he's not present for 95% of it, because he can't be, because the entire plot fails if Basil shows up. If Basil speaks like a human being, the entire plot fails. If Sunny speaks like a human being, the entire plot falls apart. So it's kind of weird in that regard. I like the idea. The thing is, the one thing about Omori that I liked, and one thing I'm going to be incorporating very heavily in Headspace, is the emotion-based combat system. I think that's really ingenious. The fact that they managed to pull that off with, being angry, if I remember correctly, being angry increases your damage, being sad increases your defense, being... This fucker's parrying. I'm getting shoved in the corner. Fuck. Yeah. There we go. That's kind of like my thoughts on Omori at the end of the day. If you don't like the characters, you aren't going to like the actual game, but the problem is the characters aren't well enough developed to enjoy them. So let's see on my list. That's my justification for Headspace. It's kind of using the different emotions and using the different concepts behind that is actually really interesting, and I really enjoy that aspect, and I think that can make a really interesting, I wouldn't say combat-first game, because you can implement it into non-combat situations. Hey, your character's fucking mad right now. Yeah, you're not going to be talking sense, but if someone wants to hear it, wants to be mad, then cool, we can do something. You can also do this in this game and just absolutely gore a bitch. It's very satisfying. Oh, fuck, he dodged into it. Oh. Alright. How long have we been streaming, actually? 30 minutes, cool. I've just been bitching about Omori for 30 minutes, awesome. So, what's next on? We have God-killing swords. Now, who here knows Kill 6 Billion Demons? I should ask that, like, preface that right now. Who here understands Kill 6 Billion Demons? Oh, no. 3, 2, dodge. Ow. Ow. See, if you want me to get... Yeah, okay, so... It's... Sometimes it's hard to talk about this one because it's a webcomic. Like, Kill 6 Billion Demons is a webcomic. And, yeah, Solomon David is cool. You don't get that much of Solomon David, unfortunately. Like, the main issue with Kill 6 Billion Demons is kind of the same thing as with Omori, where I remember one of the people saying, like, oh, I remember it was the War for Ryuba. That was, like, the big thing. We love the War for Ryuba. It's super cool. Oh my god. Everyone gotta masturbate to War for Ryuba. People love that shit. It was literally just an artist sucking each other off, though. That's all that fucking thing was. It was the most pretentious thing I've ever had to displeasure of dealing with. Annoyed the shit out of me. But the issue, like, the biggest issue with Kill 6 Billion Demons, I remember talking with someone in that server, it was Kill 6 Billion Demons is a character study on Allison. That is it. It is a character study on the main character. And there are entire plots built around the idea of this is a character study on, a certain kind of character, a certain person, a certain idea. That's cool. We'll get to Zayd in a second. Fuck Zayd. But you can make a story about a character study, and that's actually kind of interesting. You can argue that things like, Evangelion is literally just a character story about what would a literal, shitty teenager do in a situation like this. Shinji is an interesting character. Like, he is, someone that you can kind of understand. Asuka is an interesting character because you kind of understand the way she's, approaching things. I just keep getting my shit rocked. However, what about, the main character of Kill 6 Billion Demons is Allison. And you may be saying, okay, what's Allison's defining trait? What makes Allison Allison? And the answer is nothing. Allison has zero personality throughout the entire thing. Like, the issue is that there are multiple books of Kill 6 Billion Demons. Like, there are multiple books. And the entire time, you see things through Allison's perspective. The problem is, Allison has zero character. She's an amazing character because she has zero character. And I was thinking originally that was going to be like a thing. Like, there's a reason, like, she is just such a non-character. Like, she just doesn't have, like, any personality or does anything outside of scream. She screams and be sad about being a reality god king. But she sucks. Every single thing Allison does, she fails at. It could be like, oh, well, I'm gonna fight the enemy. No, you're not. Like, you're not actually gonna fight the main enemy. Somebody else is gonna fight the main enemy. Or something happens where you just say something or something occurs. She barely actually does much. Like, the only time she's like, oh, I'm going to be cool and take agency of my situation is when she is literally possessed by another character. And it's like, what? Like, okay, she just doesn't do much. And then she's like, keeps getting told she's important. But she never is allowed to succeed at anything. Because unfortunately, Abaddon, the main writer, subscribe to the school of thought that the only way to make a character interesting is beat the ever-loving shit out of them, but never let them win. You can never have the character win anything. Again, she lacks agency. Everything she does is based off somebody else doing it for her, or if she does do something, she didn't, it was kind of like either handed to her, or it was like, well, no shit, you're going to do that. There is literally no other option for you to do anything except that. And, like, they keep talking about aspects of it. Like, Allison maybe has some self-esteem issues, or maybe she has some issues. But the problem is, that's not a character. Alright, Eric. Like, Ori, it's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but kind of like Ray, but kind of Ray in a different lens. Ray did things, at least. She succeeded and she failed. She had things handed to her and she was dull, but things were obviously given to her in some ways and also taken away from her in some ways. Like, things occurred. The problem with Allison, at a fundamental core level, is that things just don't happen. She doesn't do anything. And anytime she's like, I'm going to do something cool, someone else does it for her, or she is just kind of there for it, and then takes the credit for it. Or it's really bizarre in some of the ways that it's approached with her. Like, I think the... Ow, fuck. Got my fucking head ripped off. I think one of the biggest things with Allison at its core is if you go through the entire story, you cannot find like hardly any instance where she's always doing something, but it's never something interesting or something actually meaningful to her. And anytime she is doing something, it's like, oh, I'm being dragged away to do this. Oh, I'm being influenced to do this. And it's frustrating because she has. What if the comic would be about the Universal War? That's the thing, Jared. We'll get to that in a second. I have a thing about that. The issue is Allison, since she doesn't really do anything, we have to see everything through a character that doesn't do anything, and that makes every other character around her cooler, but everybody also really likes her for no reason. So it's like, at first again, I thought it was like she's just a vessel, and like that was kind of the idea. Like she is a vessel. She's supposed to be, kind of a pair of pants for us to wear. On the other hand, maybe she's supposed to be like that. Throne is weird. And the biggest issue is that Throne is cool. I will never not give Tom that. Throne is really an interesting setting. Kill 6 Billion Demons has a really fascinating setting. And I really enjoy the setting. The problem is we really don't get much of the setting. We get a lot of world building. And world building, and I see this a lot in a thread in world building threads, is here's a bunch of this cool stuff going on. Doesn't matter to literally any other character ever. No character in the entire world is like any reasonable character gives a shit about anything going on. And I was like, oh wow, it's the black flame of humanity and the white flame of angels, and demons are born of this, and doesn't fucking matter. 99% of the time, it doesn't matter. Your grand cosmic awesomeness, but the world should be still, yeah. Like, you have this grand cosmic awesomeness going on, but we see it through a character that sucks, so every single thing about it is automatically prefaced by it not being very good. So it's like, oh, well, that's hard for me to enjoy a setting as much when everything that is done is always like, well, sorry, you just aren't allowed to actually enjoy what's going on here. Fucking annihilate this person. Fuck you. Ooh, I just got shanked. And if it was about the Universal War, that could have been interesting. Because we hear about the Universal War constantly. There are a lot of characters who are veterans of the Universal War. There are characters that understood what occurred during that conflict. Every event, arguably in that setting, is derived from this important event. But we don't see that aspect. We see the end results of it. I'm like, that could be interesting. Hey, there's this grand cosmic death war, and now we have to interpret it. What's going on? And because Allison never wins, and Allison can't win, the story has some weird beats to it. Wow, Allison, you've grown in power! You're my new muscle fetish! Wow, Allison, you're so cool. Everybody loves you. Clap, 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 clap. Immediately, like, the entire book after she gets her power up is her just getting her shit rocked. Until she gets her super special power up, or she gets her super special best friend to show up and give her superpowers that don't do anything until she just says they do. It's like, Tom, holy shit. Can you make your character do anything right? No? Okay, that's fine. And there's a reason, I say like Solomon David is like an infinitely cooler character. Because in his entire book, really dedicated to him, you actually see. Now watch me get my shit rocked real fast. This is dual difficulty. Dual difficulty is a lot harder. Ah. And because the Kane character isn't allowed to win anything, all the power-ups and all like the cool stuff that goes on automatically is always prefaced by she can't win, but she can't not gather power. And they make a big deal about certain things. Allison, here's your sword. Your awesome two-handed great sword of power that will be able to kill gods eventually. She doesn't even fucking have that anymore. She lost that in like book 2 because I think Abaddon just didn't want to draw it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not important. Oh, here's Sio. She's such a weird-looking, odd character. I'm sure she is going to be an important aspect to the plot of some sort. Yeah, because she's like the character's, like the character just wants to sleep with her constantly. Because that is Sio's role in the story now. Sio's role in the story is to be Allison's girlfriend, and that's really even though Sio should be this immensely important character in setting. Like, she should have a lot of importance. Because she stole a key from God, effectively. You know, everyone should see her being like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, it's you. Her showing up to do something should feel terrifying. But she isn't. No, she's just Allison's girlfriend now. And if she is anything else, please tell me, because that's what she is. She has no character development. White Chain was the protagonist, and then White Chain wasn't the protagonist anymore. Then White Chain was the protagonist again, and now she's the protagonist again, even though she lost her powers to be interesting. Because she went from Angel, who is an unkillable golem of justice, to human being because she wanted to be a human being. Maybe. And it's like, what? You just look at it like, what? You've established this cosmology, you've established this lore, that angels are a certain way. It's interesting to have a character who is like, I'm questioning the order, I don't know about this. That's interesting. You can actually have a lot of cool personality quirks with that. Doesn't matter. Juggernaut, that's a character. They're like, I'm a main antagonist, and like, oh, look at the teacup, I fucking hate, everything that is destroyed, nothing matters. Somewhat. Because the problem with Angels and Demons is that they eventually became plot convenience. Anytime an angel is killed, they get sent to effectively pseudo heaven, where they mull on it and they regrow their spirit, they gain another life, and they re-enter their body. Interesting. You have a clear cycle of problems, and then things like Metatron get introduced. It's like, okay, we have an interesting set of story beats occurring. You have an angel who is questioning their orders, who is kind of go against the grain. And in a literal society of judges and lawgivers that aren't supposed to do that. Now, your entire duty is to literally not go against the grain. And like demons, like, oh, all the different masks, demons and stuff like that. That's interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff there. But it's also like, anyone remember Princess? Yeah, that essential cool character that was introduced and immediately turned into a fucking goblin. That's part of Allison's crew, but serves no purpose. That one girl she saved at like the first book, who just shows up and talks and does some exposition every now. I can't even remember her fucking name. She is so useless to the plot. You don't even recognize who she is anymore. But then you have to wonder, like, is Sio important to the plot? No, not really. Sio doesn't actually mean that much to the plot, outside inspiring Allison to lose again. Like, or to win in convenient situations. And we don't really get any personality or character of any of the other demiurges. But the problem is, the demiurges are the most interesting characters. Like, by far. Incubus is a fascinating character. Incubus is someone who should, by all right, and he knows this. Incubus knows that by all accounts, he should not be in the position he is. He is a poser. His entire identity is built around posing, about being a poser. And he knows that. Everyone around him, all his compatriots, know that. So he has to imbue other people with that kind of same arrogant delusion, which makes that aspect of Allison interesting. He infects Allison with that power during her one arc where she does something, and it's like, okay, I like this Allison. I like the Allison infected by Incubus because she is actually doing something. She is a character acting to do something. I am going to rob the greatest, vault of heaven ever. Cool. That's awesome. I enjoy that. Incubus is a really fascinating, cool character. And we get a lot of personality from him by the things he does, the things he looks, the way he looks like, the way he approaches certain situations. Even his, grandmaster plot of like, yeah, I want to like break throne. It makes sense for him because guess what? He is a poser. I think at the thing is, I think at first it wasn't that. I think like honestly at first I think there was some noble intention because the thing is, Kill 6 Billion Demons was born on MS Paint form, like MS Paint Adventures form. Like that's where it was originally born, and it actually had some really interesting ideas to it. But the problem, wow, I got cut. The issue is if you preface all of this, like Incubus is an interesting character. Jaggeroth is a fucking amazing character. We get so little information on him, but over the course of like 7, 8 pages, he explains his entire backstory. Everything that has been previously stated about him comes into, everything about his previous, actions, the way he sounds, the way he thinks makes sense all of a sudden. You understand who he is in the matter of a few pages. And over the course of a few pages, you begin to understand, like, wow, he's a, Jaggernauth has some issues. He doesn't, like, he views this the entire situation as a problem and he wants to fix it, but he doesn't really know how to fix it. So he's going to do the one thing that he knows how to do, which is delete everything. He wants to delete reality effectively and start over again. Hell, even Madam. Madam actually has a lot of personality. She's like the first main enemy, but you understand who she is. You want to know more about her. I can never remember Matt, not Matt, no fuck, what's his name? Yeah, we're googling K6BD because they all have like slightly weird names. Let's see. It's Mammon. Yeah, Mammon. The fact Mammon is like the coolest fucking dude in the world. He's like infinitely cool. Because Mammon is a dragon that lives at the bottom of a horde. That's all he is. He venerate the count. Even just there's one line that he has being like, go ahead and slay your dragon. So many have tried before. I'm tired. Just the way he approaches it. It's the idea of, I've been alive for so long. I've been doing this for so long. So many people have tried to kill me. It just doesn't matter. And everyone who tries joins the count because they realize how futile it is. And I'm like, yes, give me more of him. Give me more character development like that. But we don't get them. We don't get those kind of characters. We get Allison. And Allison and White Chain are not interesting. Well, White Chain is and sometimes interesting, and then reverts back to being not interesting at the same time. Oh, fucking hell. Ow. I would say, but and the sad thing is, like, this is the final book. And ultimately, nothing has really occurred in the story. Well, and actually, no, I take that back. A lot of things have happened in the story, but nothing really matters to the protagonist. The protagonist's story started with, we need to find Zaid. They found Zaid. And now it's not that. It's like, what are you even doing anymore? Shit. And like, I actually like Zayd as a character. Even Zayd got actual personality in like the little time we actually see him. He's like, yeah, I'm just a regular fucking kid. I guess I'm, the son of God. Zos gets personality. None of the actual main cast get personality though, and I think that's like the ultimate tragedy of it. And it's kind of like what you said. It's like fast food. Looks good. It's not really that good. It's I think people got really into it because there's a lot of promises made. A lot of promises. It's like, look at all this grand story. Look at all this cool lore. Look at all these really interesting and fascinating parts about this setting, this story, these characters. But you realize that most of it doesn't matter. The actual characters that we have to look for, the actual individuals that we look at, mean nothing. They are really dull. It's like, and that's, you could argue like, oh, maybe the entire thing, the entire purpose is arguably, can I bait you into an attack? Shit, I thought I could dive on that. It's, and I think that's kind of like the ultimate tragedy. That's kind of the ultimate tragedy of Kill 6 Billion Demons, because what happened in the last few chapters made it so this is going to be the final one. Like, there's not actually much to return from, because, fun fact, Jagannath kills everybody. Yeah, no, he kills everybody. Like, most of the main demiurges are dead at this point. Like, the only one that isn't is like, I know Gog isn't, but Gog is the most annoying fucking creature in existence. Oh, look at me, I'm a clown. She gets no personality. Like, I think I want, like, the part with Kill 6 Billion Demons is that there was always the promise of something interesting occurring. And that promise kept happening. And I think a lot of people kind of got, I wouldn't say deluded into it, but I think a lot of people were like, this is the greatest, coolest thing ever that could possibly exist. And I love it. This is apparently the final book. How many actual, like, pages are left? I generally don't know. Because apparently they need to do the War for Rayuba results, which I believe War for Rayuba ended in victory for the Pyre. Like, the bad guys won because they were cooler. They were just cooler. But it's you look at it and it's like, wait a fucking second. Does any, like, so the ending of the comic was determined effectively by an art poll, by a poll, effectively by a bunch of artists who got the vote on whose art they liked the most. That is effectively how Kill 6 Billion Demons is going to be ending. By someone voting. Which is really like, what? It's like, come on, Abaddon, you gotta have a plot here, right? There's a plot already. No. And it's like, you can't really, the problem is you can't really come back from it. You can't really just say, hey, we're, resetsy, don't worry, we can fight him again. It's not like you fight the bad guy or you get beat up a little bit and you come back later. No. Like, the one hope they had of defeating him was pretty much doomed unless you get a super duper uber power up that, under established logic, is impossible. So if Allison does get superpowers, it's literally going to be based entirely on Abaddon saying she gets powers. Or she determines that her heart is in the right place, or some stupid shit like that. Because I think, the thing is, the original pitch for Kill 6 Billion Demons was really fascinating. Hey, you are a... It's about Allison, but it's Allison's from a billion different realities. It's her Allison of our world and Allison of different worlds kind of meeting and thrown to do things. That's interesting. Like, there's some character development, there's some ideas you can play on. You can make, like, yeah, I'm a regular, sorority girl from fucking California, and suddenly I am now thrust into this position. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. And, you have... I just got chopped in fucking half. Yes. And the thing is, the entire naming convention makes no sense. Like, Kill 6 Billion Demons, the entire thing for Kill 6 Billion Demons is that, oh, it's not an act, it's a name. And spoiler alert, Kill 6 Billion Demons is Allison's name. That's was like, she saw, Jada saw the future and saw Kill 6 Billion Demons, which was Allison, a broken, miserable, and generally terrifying looking Allison. She got her one eye removed in this one, but it's like, what are you going to do? Seriously, are you just going to start, are we going to do a fucking montage of you killing things? Yeah, wow, that's great. Because if you go into Kill 6 Billion Demons expecting like these cool, badass fight scenes, we're going to be swinging our sword all around, dude, that's not really what's happening. Like, there are actually not that many fight scenes in Kill 6 Billion Demons. Like, overall, like, there aren't. There's a lot of long fight scenes, mind you. Because Abaddon has a very bad problem of really going over detailed on certain aspects. And because he goes so over... Oh, fuck. It's... Kill 6 Billion Demons is going to end. It's going to end in a way that no one's going to be happy with it. But everyone's going to clap at it. Because, oh my god, it's so empowering that Allison's, likes ladies. And she's so powerful. And it's so great and wonderful. It's like, who fucking cares? She has no character. She has no personality. And, like, what? And I remember asking this person who said, like, oh, it's Kill 6 Billion Demons is a character study on Allison. I'm like, what's her character? And he couldn't fucking answer me. Like, he legitimately couldn't answer me because she doesn't have one. So if you go in there for the fights, there aren't many fights. If you go in there for, like, expert, cool character development, there isn't actually that much character development because Allison never fucking changes. So you go in there for background, for lore, and for this kind of information of things that had already occurred or are occurring, rather than what is occurring. It's like, oh wow, this would be really cool. Like, oh yeah, there's a reality-spanning war going on in the background, but no, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Because yeah, that happens. Like, oh yeah, we're at complete war. Like, two of the major demigods, gods effectively at this point, are fighting. We just don't see it. High sleeps, by the way. And yeah, the art is astounding. Like, I will never not say Tom's art is good. Like, Tom is a great artist. I don't think he's a good storyteller. I think he is he's really damn good. Yeah, that's kind of the issue. Tom is really good at telling us about his world. And there's all the little details and all the little cool information, and you'll learn a lot of cool stuff. The problem is we see that through the worst possible medium ever. We see it through Allison. And Allison is a non-character. She is a non-entity that we unfortunately have to deal with. And if she had more personality, I could see it being interesting. If she was kind of, I wouldn't say a veteran of the world, but more like, here's a character study on how power influences people. Hey, you're a regular, girl from fucking, Los Angeles. You have now been given the power of effectively God. You are a godlike entity right now. What do you do with that? Does she exploit it? Who does she bring around her? Because that's, like, one of the major philosophical standpoints of the actual setting. Give me one second, I double check something. Okay, we're good. It's like one of the major philosophical standpoints of the setting is that royalty is kind of a corrupting, factor. And then like sleep, like you say, the I'm gonna get my shit rocked and master real fast. Like the demiurges get a lot more character than our main character, and if that was kind of the case, like, hey, I am, my name is Allison, and my duty is to kill the demiurges. She doesn't really get that much backstory because you're not really supposed to get backstory on her. Her duty is to kill the demiurges. She is an entity derived from that concept. Zos's failsafe, you could say. Like that could be an interesting character. You have this is what happens on master difficulty. You get fucking annihilated. She's coming back. Or, hey, this is Allison who is destined to do this. Even the fact of, or even just give her Zade's role, and I think she could actually have a little bit more personality than she does right now. The problem is Zade is the protagonist of his own story that Allison has unfortunately taken over, and no one's told her yet. And like one of the main things I'm going to try to accomplish in God Killing Swords is how do you mitigate that aspect, kind of? How do you mitigate the concept of, how do I want to word this? How do you mitigate the concept of a character feeling out of place in their own setting? Or how do you mitigate, like, how you, pretty much I want it to be a story about power. Because that's ultimately what Kill 6 Billion Demons is about. It's a story about power. And what people do with it. Solomon pretty much makes his own personal reality, personal paradise, but he rules it with an iron fist. He kind of deludes himself into thinking he knows what he's doing. Incubus is hiding behind his various proxies just to make sure that he is right. There's nothing wrong with him. Everything that everything Modem said, his master said, that wasn't right. She was wrong. I am right. I deserve this, but he's hiding with it. Cool. Honestly, it's not going to be thrown. Like, I can't. The thing is, yeah, and if that was the case, if that was like an exploration of that aspect, that could be interesting. The problem is, Allison just doesn't do any of that. Damn it. It's, if we would see, for example, can I swing? I can swing under. Oh god. Like one of the major aspects with the setting in general is I can't really, Throne is Throne, and it's kind of inexplicably its own thing, and its thing is Throne is really well defined. There's a lot of personality and a lot of cool stuff going on in Throne. The problem is there's nothing interesting in Throne that can be reasonably played with as a player. Ow. Give me one second, I need to check something. And what I mean by that is, like, I wonder if this will work. Yeah, if that was the case, then yeah, that could actually be pretty interesting. The problem is that it is, at its core, not. If I were to really kind of make my own, it wouldn't really be itself. Like, I have, like, an idea for the setting. It's one I played with before. Ow. I played with the idea of a setting before, and half of me wants to kind of commit to the name a little bit more, other half of me doesn't. Because the name is just a placeholder. Ow. And one of the issues, you could say, with it in general is like, there's not, I can't really do much with Throne that, again, hasn't already been said with it, or it's like, well, this piece of lore is already, like, says no to this, so it's not going to be a kill 6 billion demons RPG. Like, it's going to be able to run that if you fucking feel like, but it's like, do your own thing. The ultimate difficulty with this game, with God Killing Swords, at its core, is I need to make a game where you can do a quadruple backflip through the air and decapitate, 100 men with a single swing kind of thing. And I need to make that really satisfying. And the issue is, no game really goes that high-powered. The only game that kind of even touches on that level of power is, like, Anima. And even then, Anima doesn't really even do it justice in a way, just because Anima is a weird Spanish RPG that I really should look at on this channel, but I also really don't feel like it because it's a very big. Like, in an ideal world, I could probably. And the thing is, like, most high-powered RPGs, it's like, that's kind of the goal, is like, I want to destroy a wall with a finger. I want to, I want the characters to feel like men, like gods among men. And Exalted, this is coming from someone who loves Exalted. I adore Exalted. Exalted cannot decide what the fuck it wants to be. And I think that's the problem with Exalted is Exalted. Because, on one hand, Exalted wants to be a shonen anime game. On the other hand, Exalted wants to be a sword and sandal game. And it has some difficulties understanding where it wants to be. Because it does. Because Exalted, you could say, is a wuxia game. It's also a high fantasy game. It's also the sword and sandal game. It's also this anime game. All kind of like mushed together poorly. And what I mean by poorly, I mean like really poorly. Like, it just doesn't work as well as you would think it does. Like, that's one of the big issues, is that it doesn't. And I've always said this about Exalted. Exalted can run exactly one game. Exalted can run Exalted, and you really need. And the thing is, you can do a high anime game where Exalted are super powerful and cool and awesome, or you can make an Exalted game that has the characters be, I would say, demigods. Like, you're still flawed, you're still fuck-ups, and your that heroic strength always comes at a, but moment. Like, you are a great and flawless warrior who is unable to be defeated by any man, but your wrath is legendary, and you, like, no one ever actually wants to. Everyone hates you, kind of thing. Or, oh, you're this, but it's Exalted is really complicated in that regard. And Exalted also kind of falls into some of the issues with Kill 6 Billion Demons, where there's a lot of cool setting information in creation, but a lot of that setting information means absolutely jack shit for actually playing the game or actually being meaningful to the setting in any way. It's better than, Kill 6 Billion Demons, mind you. Because, mind you, give me 1 second. I just need it. We're going on a magic adventure here real fast. We want to go... Curious Case of PBTA. We want to go to this. Okay, there we go. So this is Broken Worlds. Broken Worlds is... There we go, right there. This is his game. This is his game about Kill 6 Billion Demons. It is a fucking PBTA game. The issue is that through all of these abilities, through all of these cool ideas, it's really dull. There isn't actually that much going on. Like, if you want the actual, like, story of everything, this is what it is. Like, it's like, oh, this is really cool. This is really awesome. Oh, wow, look how neato burrito it is. Oh, wow, look. This game is really dull because of that. And the reason why you're like, oh, wow, look at all these cool characters. But, like, these are the characters you're actually going to be playing. Here's Allison. Here's a Catman. Here's, technically, that could be a few different ones. Like, all of these characters, like, are, like, ugh. It's hard to explain, but Kill 6 Billion Demons wants to be this. It's not this. I want god-killing swords to feel like this. I want characters to feel powerful and just be able to rip and tear through enemies. Just absolutely annihilate things that displease them. Because I want you to feel powerful. I want you to feel ridiculous. The absolute problem child of Kill 6 Billion Demons, or any of these games, ultimately does boil down to the fact that it is all that power, all that cool shit going on. Also, this does not actually occur at all. Yeah, none of this actually occurs in any meaningful manner. Fun fact. This is all from the Count mission, where she is technically possessed by someone. Remember that. Just remember the fact that she's possessed during this scene. Yeah, like, it's... Yeah, it's one of the difficulties of writing any, like, really high-powered... Use that money to pay Abaddon to make the art, yeah. Yeah, it's... I think Abaddon's a great artist. Here's the thing. I think Tom is a great artist. And I will never say he isn't. Outside the fat fetish stuff. Outside of his fat fetish porn phase, I think he's actually a really good artist. However, I think he is not really good at actually telling stories or writing rules. And the thing is that you can quote me on this. I don't actually think Tom's a really good game designer. And I think the thing that annoyed more people is his stupid... He made a stupid tweet saying, like, indie game designers lack design rigor. Like, holy shit, if you want to piss off the fucking horde, it's that way. God, he pissed literally everybody off. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Oh, goodness. Shift everything around again. Am I gonna make a review of Icon? When Icon formally comes out, like, here's the thing with the Icon. Here's the thing with Icon. Icon is 2 games. Icon is technically a shitty Blades in the Dark, Icon is also a Lancer. And he could claim all he wants. It's like, oh, it's not Lancer. It's not this. Oh no, it's not this. Oh no, it's not that. Oh no. He can claim all he fucking wants. It's not that. It's Lancer. The characters don't actually, in the tactical combat mode, you don't actually have any skills that are outside your actual depth. It's all about combat stuff, because you're supposed to use the Blades in the Dark method to do that. But the Blades in the Dark method work for Blades in the Dark, and that game is all about, you know, not getting into combat very often, because guess what? You're a bunch of fucking criminals. But he puts in a weird combat system on top of that. Icon is like the quintessential like thing I point to when it says like commit to your design goals, because Tom didn't. Tom completely failed to actually commit to any design goals with that game. Because it's like, oh, well, it's this, oh, it's this, oh, it's this, oh, it's this. And it's really not great. Is he going to put it on Kickstarter? Yeah, he's going to put it on Kickstarter. He's going to make, and I do quote, $1 gorillion off of it, because it's literally just going to be him writing shit. He could make an entire, like, fucking, he could pay his salary easily by virtue of just releasing art books. The man is that talented when it comes to art. The problem is, he is not talented in any other capacity. And he's the most unfortunate soul, is where he thinks he is talented. And I'm not saying I'm like some fucking apex or like writer here. I'm not. I'm actually not that great of a writer. But it's one of those things. I've read enough books. I've read enough stories. I know enough things to know that, brother, please. You have zero, you know, like, Icon has zero actual meaning to exist. And he's gonna make money off of it, and everyone's gonna say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And my opinion of it will very firmly be, you've already played this game, but you're gonna buy it anyway because Tom has his art on it. Which, spoiler warning, I'm going to go over Lancer one of these days. Probably next week is when I'm going to commit to the Lancer review. Don't quote me on that, though. And the Lancer review is going to be, Lancer is good. Lancer is a good game. Don't play it, though, because you've already played Lancer. If you're watching this, you have already made your decision on Lancer. Like, I can't really say anything other that you haven't already chosen your preferred approach to it. But what I am going to say is that, like, there's no part of the game that's bad. There's just no part of the game that's good. It's a perfectly fine game. And I think that's kind of like the most damning praise I could give. Like, it's great. It's a lovely game. I did a curious case on it. I haven't made a little opinion video on it yet. Because I try to anyway. The goal is to make every single game I go over on the channel, on this channel, is to make a little opinion video on it. And the little opinions are literally just like bite-sized snippets of my reviews. Quote, quote. I don't like to call them reviews, though. Yeah, most of those videos are like 3-4 minutes long of me just going over things rapid fire. I'm probably gonna do with Lancer kind of like what I did with the Zweihander review, being like, haha, look, it's Lancer, but I'm not really gonna go over Lancer. I'm gonna go over something else just because I don't really care about Lancer. Like, and people have asked me, like, why don't you like Lancer very much? Being like, because I have zero interest in it. Like, Lancer is one of those few games that I can legitimately say, going back to the high-powered game, yeah, what about it? broke the game. Yeah, that's kind of the issue with high-powered. Is high-powered, you can go either really crunchy with it, and you can be like, well, here's all the mechanical things that make you powerful. Or you can go really light with it. Yeah, you no longer have to even bother dealing with this aspect. Like, the thing is, like, for example, you can make D&D a high-powered game. You want to know how you make D&D a really high-powered game? You say anytime a character encounters anything scary, you just say it's a super something. This isn't a goblin, this is a god goblin at level 1. And oh my god, it's super goblins. They're going to eat reality if you don't do... Or, like, that's how you make it, 5e high powered. You don't actually give them anything a bonus. You just you just say everything. That's kind of like the narrative issue with when it comes to high powered games, is that you can make anything high powered by just narrating it differently. So the thing with God killing swords is I want to make that the core thesis of Kill 6 Billion Demons. Power is a bizarre and intoxicating substance, and I want to make that a kind of its overriding feature. Like the setting I actually had in mind was it was a setting I actually wrote a while ago. And the entire idea is every couple thousand years, 7 gods kill each other, and they're pretty much divine entities on the planet have to pretty much reforge reality. And the idea is there are far more than 7. So they're going to try to kill one another, and you also have to deal with the fact that the number of seats is rapidly dwindling. You may appear before them, appear before the thrones of ascension, and find out 4 of them have already been taken, and you have 5 members in your party. What occurs then? It's kind of that power drama that comes with being super powered, which has its own set of issues. It's hard to do a game like that. I think that's the reason why I think Sleeps wanted to bug me so much about it. It was like, I want you to make me this game. And you could argue that Gachimuchi Nirvana Seekers was a game directly about being stronger than average. And yeah, you would be correct. Like, Gachimuchi Nirvana Seekers made, like, the characters were strong in that. Yes, hello, Sleeps. Like, the characters were strong in that setting. And one of the primary issues of it was characters are fairly strong. But I also had the entire, like, joke being that, yeah, you're all, like, half-naked muscle men fighting it out, by wrestling your enemies into submission, trying to become Lord of the Locker Room. Yeah, that was, like, the preface, the joke was, like, that's how you justified everyone being stupid powered and, like, how we were supposed to act. It was like, yeah, we're all, like, Lords of the Locker Room, and we're all being, like, a little bit over dramatic, because that's the entire point. It's like, how do you do that formally? I think that, honestly, that's a good description of what the setting would be, a power drama. That would be kind of like what the setting would be. It's not really about, like, I touched the man on the forehead and his head explodes. It's not about that. It's about having the power to do that. And do I want to make it crunchy? Do I not want to make it crunchy? I legitimately have no idea. Hokuto no Ken. Honestly, that would, like, if I was going to make a Hokuto no Ken game, like, honestly, if I was going to do that, if we're doing a full-on Fist of the North Star game, like, I know how I would do it. And it would be a lot of very ridiculous powers, very over the top, very aggressive. Like, I know how I would make a game like that. It's even a little bit beyond that. Like, I was pretty much kind of like the in my notes here, I have like the joking. The joking name for it originally was actually just going to be the Solomon David RPG. Everyone just plays variations of Solomon David in various capacities, just because Solomon was. It would be gimmicks. Literally, that would be how you would do a Hokuto no Ken game. Every character has a set of gimmicks, and those gimmicks are going to be like your like ability to do things. Just because the higher power a game gets, the more narrative you're going to have to get that. So you're here, yeah. So you don't let me get away with it. Oh, Goom. Yeah, it's if I want to do like a legit Fist of the North Star game, like yeah, there'd be a lot of like really weird shit going on in there. Like I would want people to have, I would want people to feel powerful, but in their own, in like a very Ken way, very martial arts based, very like that, like the power drama game, and yes, Sleeves, I am going to be using that as the name of it. It's going to be just called a power drama. Let me get away with that too, which is even funnier. Yeah, you can. Fun fact: if you hold and then go up, you can do a little dash, and then get your head slopped off. Slopped off, yes. This is my last mango beer. As you can tell, I'm celebrating the end of summer here by drinking mangoes. But like a full-on, super-powered, like power drama, like that's just the term we're using, is going to have to be grand in scale. It's going to have to feel very grand in scale, and I want that to be like a very important aspect, because if you really look at it, like all the demiurges own a seventh of the universe, not like a seventh of a planet, not a continent, like a seventh of the entire known existence. And I think that's kind of an important part of power, is the responsibility of more people than just yourself. Which I think is like one of the complicated factors of Exalted, and why Exalted kind of struggles with that sometimes, is because the Exalts are really only beholden to themselves. And the game kind of encourages that. And any character you ever see pick up bureaucracy charms are madmen or Eclipse who are memeing you. Oh, how did he get me? That's bullshit. But Eclipse, get everything we know and then multiply it. Yeah, it's kind of even hard to like comprehend the amount of like influence and responsibility even like things like Solomon have to deal with. It's each character is so astronomically powerful in both like their just raw ability to do things, as well as their ability to actually like influence events as well as people around them. And I think that's really interesting to kind of play in. Oh, you got me. Oh no. Oh no. 3, 2, Can you do a mix up? 3, 2. So yeah, I think it's ultimate power, super powered RPG going to be difficult. But like looking at my notes here, like looking at my little thing here, Headspace wouldn't be too, like, Headspace ultimately is going to be built around a single gimmick. Headspace is, like, I would say, like, pretty easy to ham out. The problem with Headspace would be getting the narrative set up and making sure people kind of understand what's actually being played rather than, like, because I know earlier in my server people were like, "Oh, hey, I can run a Persona game in this." Not really. That's not the point of Headspace. It'd be more about like you are a person. You are figments of a person's dream, effectively. How do you manage? And that would be kind of the complicated part because everyone would automatically see like it's a Mori. Look at it, it's a Mori. All weird psycho space. Everyone dreams differently, so that would be kind of like the GM section to that game would be in larger than the actual how to play section. God Killing Swords, this is going to be the most complicated one of the bunch. And of course, it's the one that has the most votes right now because you all hate me. And it's going to be one of the most complicated ones, mostly derived from the fact that it is just a lot to think about. And there's a lot of ways to approach it, and it's going to be very setting dependent. How did I get away with that? And that does mean I'm going to have to actually make a setting. And I'm very bad at setting writing, so that'll be fun. So unless something like really jumps out at me in when that comes up, I'm gonna have to start thinking a little bit. Might have to consult some of my Hindu-Buddhist bullshit. Ow. Owies. Let's see. Hell Jumpers, by all accounts, wouldn't be too difficult. It's literally just getting the gimmick to work. Like, getting the gimmicks to Hell Jumpers working is the hard part. Because how do you represent really fighting a astronomical number of characters? Like just a absurdly large amount of enemies. And the answer is you don't do that. I know the Starship Troopers RPG is actually kind of interesting in that regard because your weapons don't do damage necessarily. You do damage based on how many bugs you kill. Yeah, that's how damage is rated. Number of bugs killed, because there are just that many enemies. And also, I hope you all know that if Helljumpers does make it, we are definitely going to have to do a franchise games list of me going over Starship Troopers. Like, just understand. Let's just know that we're doing that. Like wait, why are we out here now? I said it to only be training yard. Ow. But overall, I think Aces is going to be complicated in a different factor. Aces is going to be complicated entirely because it's going to be me having to go into full gun autism mode and me having to ironically I'm to make the ops and tactics killer, I'm going to need to go into ops and tactics. And I'm going to need to reference every single thing in that very poorly laid out book. Like, I love you to death, Melon. Good God, your game is a nightmare to actually manage. It's also funny how many people like know ops and tactics and be like, "Wow, it's ops and tactics." Like, yeah, I know Melon. Like, I've talked to Melon before. Melon's a nice guy. He's a pretty cool dude. I would share a beer with him. Kind of an autist, but he's my kind of autist. He's the kind of guy who would make an RPG like that. Let's just say that. But overall, Aces is going to be pretty much just as I kind of wrote down here, it's going to be the Arma RPG. Mimicking some of the aspects of that. Very particular. Tick combat's already its own very particular set of ideas, because the entirety of the entire concept of tick combat is that every single thing is measured. You want to move, it's going to take X amount of ticks. You want to reload your gun's going to take X amount of time to reload. Like, reloading shells is going to take about a tick per shell tier. Like, make your shotgun rounds count, because guess what? You are click, 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 click. You got to click those things in. But mind you, you shoot someone with a shotgun, they aren't getting back up. And the idea is to make sure you only have to shoot them once. Like, the hard part of that game is going to be just purely just numbers based, and I'm probably going to have to make, like, guns very, I don't want to say abstracted, but I'm going to say it's going to not be like, you have a FAMAS. It's going to be like, you have a 9mm, like, rifle. Like, your gun does X, Y, and Z. If you want a very particular gun, you're going to build it. Yeah, am I going to have to do literally a gun crafting system? Yes, I will have to do a gun crafting system. Is it going to be entirely autistic to do? Yes, it is. Because I hate myself. The finally one is the Pulpy Riverboat Adventure. No, but not many people actually voted for that one. But that's based entirely off of European comics, actually. That one actually probably would be like the easiest, like, just to do, and I could play around with that one quite a bit. I think that would be that's a mystery game, actually. Like, at its core, like, a lot of European comics, I realize, are very mystery oriented, very noir in its. I wouldn't say noir. Noir has its own kind of connotations to it, but it's like, here's a mystery, we need to solve it, and we're going to solve it by going to exotic locales. So, I mean, overall, that's kind of the setup for now. I just want to introduce everyone to this game. Hope everyone enjoyed it. It's a fun game. You can download it. It is a free game. So if you like me getting my shit rocked, this, as stated before, this isn't black and white naturally. I am just making it black and white. It also doesn't run like absolute garbage, but welcome to streaming on my machine. Mostly because I have to use my graphics card to actually stream properly. Why, you may ask? I don't know. So, overall, I like this game. It's fun. Ow. Owie. I would say, probably if the voting continues the way I think it is, that's kind of a final thing. If voting continues the way I think it is, we are most likely going to be seeing God Killing Swords is going to be the next one. But that's a big if. If voting continues the way it's kind of being set up. I really don't know where it's going to go. Mostly because the Patreon voters are the ones that swing votes. Truth be told, one guy actually counts for 6. And since he counts for 6, he can actually change things pretty damn drastically if he feels like. The other one only counts for 2, but that's twice the number of votes. And if they really decide to, like, focus in on it, they could very easily change the numbers around. And I think that's a good place to end it. So thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. I am going to head off now. I will see you tomorrow, actually. So tomorrow will be the first day of working on Oji-san Demon Slayer Corporation. So thank you, and goodbye.